meantime, to the massive layoffs playing out today of government workers, thousands of them at multiple federal agencies, including the Department of Education, the CDC, and Veterans Affairs. And tonight, ABC News learning that hundreds were laid off at the National Nuclear Security Administration, the agency that maintains America's nuclear stockpile, before they were called back. Here's Mary Bruce.
Tonight across the country, tens of thousands of federal workers, from the Department of Education to Health and Human Services, from Veterans Affairs to the Department of Energy, suddenly told they are out of a job.
Last night I got an email around 9 p.m. Saying that my position was terminated.
In Greensboro, Georgia, Carly Arata worked at the Department of Agriculture.
I saw the subject of it and I kind of screamed. I didn't think it was real at first, so I reread it like 3 times and then kind of started crying because, yeah, I was relying on this job. My husband and I just purchased this house in December, and now we're not really sure what we're going to do.
In a meeting at the Office of Personnel Management, some employees were told to, quote, gather your personal belongings and exit the premises.
Usually used to be worked on every day in, day out. Ain't nobody working, not a soul.
The Hispanic workforce is pretty much gone out here.
Our workers, the Hispanics, they will be up there. They don't want this to get wet. All those houses are sold, getting wet more than they have to and getting destroyed by the humidity. Well, they pay for them already.
This is not good. This is not good. I'm not seeing a lot of workers here. I'm not seeing a lot of movement going on here. This is not good. From a real estate standpoint, if you're already under contract for a property that's under construction, expect a lot of delays. And if you're looking for a new built property, expect prices to go up because there is a ridiculous shift taking place right now in the workforce. And unfortunately, that check is going to be passed on to us, the consumers. This is so sad.
So I still really don't watch the news a lot because that raises my heart rate. But I do, when I have time, I do go catch up about what's happening. I like to stay informed. I obviously get on this app and inform you all about what's happening. So I read articles. I keep up with things that are going on. I don't lose sleep. Do I think we're going downhill fast? Absolutely. It hasn't even been a month and this is nuts. This is insane. I'd be like, is this happening? Where are the people? What's happening? But I don't lose sleep over anything. But the thing that is stressing me out, the mass layoffs with federal workers. And I feel like people get it, but I don't think people get like where this is going and what the impact this is going to be. And it honestly really scares me because this is something that even if you aren't a federal worker, this is going to change our workforce and impact all of us. And it is scary to me. It's very, very scary. So a couple things. First off, I don't think people realize that our largest employer is the federal government. And they are telling them to leave these jobs where they're not super effective, that they're not doing anything, and go into the private sector, become entrepreneurs, and actually do work. I worked harder when I was working for the government, the state government, than I ever have. Because there's no money, so like they just add on extra duties to you. I got into the private sector, and they're like, "Oh no, we outsource that. We hire a company for that." So that's wild to begin with. Sometimes the skills and how you work in the federal government is not always transferable to the private sector. The pay that you can get in the federal government, that kind of like the system that feels like very merit-based, very fair in some ways, the grade system and those ranges, how they do all that, like all those things are very, very different. So as you all know, they offered them that out, which I thought was crazy. Apparently 70,000 people took it. A court said that they were allowed to do this, which is wild. I don't think he has the authority to offer anything like that. I think that really, especially the salary part, I think that really is, to me, that's a bill that should have been passed by Congress. It wouldn't have passed, but people took it. And then tonight they are doing layoffs, and they being Elon Musk, they are doing layoffs and getting rid of like probationary employees at these different offices. And so we are looking at a flood of people, like a mass layoff around the country that's happening right now. And these are well-paid people who have livable salaries who are going to flood the private sector. Now let's keep in mind this private sector they're going into. This sector, you know, we had the Great Resignation a couple years ago. I definitely benefited from that one. It was our market. They're still pissed about that. These companies are still mad that we ran up them numbers, that we were up here, you know, taking 3 and 4 offers and ignoring people. They're still mad about that. All right. And we are still seeing the impact of that. So they're doing things like getting rid of work from home, which in a lot of cases, including the federal government, this was an attempt to get people to quit. This was an attempt to get folks to quit. It wasn't about productivity. They want y'all to quit. Yeah, they want you to be so uncomfortable that you just go ahead and say, I'm done. Here's my 2-week notice. And so I'm looking at all this. I'm thinking about all the mass layoffs that we've had in the private sector. Chevron just announced that they're going to be purging 20% of their workforce over the next 2 years. The private sector does not have jobs for these people. Not the kind of jobs that have the salaries they have. So what does that mean? These people are going to be they're going to be underemployed. They're going to make less salaries and be underemployed. And somebody posted it, I can't think of her name. I can see her face. She's a sociologist that she thinks the goal is to drive down wages. But you're driving down wages, but you haven't driven down cost. So we're just going to force people into poverty. And everything about this says we are running headfirst into a recession. Because I don't think people realize one of the ways we stay out of recessions is through government spending. And so like when Biden comes in, one thing he does, he increases government spending. It's like an easy way to put your finger on the scale and to get us out of recession. That includes hiring people, all that government spending. I just sit back here and I'm like I said, I don't like economics, but I'm like, this is very simple to me. 1 + 1 does not equal good economy for us. And then if you're in the private sector, y'all, it just means that you got to hold on to these jobs. If you were thinking about, okay, I'm going to stay here for 6 more months and hop out after I get my bonus, I think we're stuck. I think we're stuck. I think the market is going to be severely flooded with these federal workers. This is insane, is all I can say.
Not how I wanted to start my 2025. I was just laid off. This is actually the first time I've ever been laid off, so I don't really know what to even do or how to process anything. I just dropped off my laptop. It sucks the most because I seriously was only at this company for 2 months. I literally got this job in October and loved every single second of it. Unfortunately, the company was acquired and a lot of us were let go. Nothing you can do about it, but it definitely sucks. I have no idea what I want to do. I don't know if I want to even keep working for a company or what. I got my real estate license back in early October. I'm like, maybe I should just pursue that. But I also really liked the idea of having like a stable income with a job. I'm also getting married this year and have lots of expenses, so yeah. I still know it's going to be a great year. Like, I'm truly trying to be positive. I know everything happens for a reason, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
There is no job in this country that can justify paying you less than $20 an hour. It is 2025. I don't care what city you live in. I don't care what state you live in. I don't care what your work experience is. Less than $20 an hour is totally unacceptable. And quite frankly, for a lot of these Fortune 500 companies that are making ungodly amounts of money, it's blatantly disrespectful. Do you know how hard it is to live by yourself for less than $20 an hour? Do you have any idea? I'm about to turn 30. $20 an hour was considered a good wage when I was like 16. It blows my mind every time I see job postings anywhere that say start right now, $15 an hour. Are you crazy? They're still living in 2005. You can talk like it's 2005. You can ask people to work like it's 2005. You can run your business like it's 2005, but you can't pay people like it's 2005 anymore. And the only thing crazier than jobs still offering to pay people less than $20 an hour is if for some reason people do actually watch this video. I can 100% guarantee you, if you go in the comments right now, there's going to be a ton of people that disagree with me and think, you know, offering to pay people a livable wage in 2025 is just totally out of this world. It's not realistic and it can't happen. And that's the only thing crazier.
If the price of shit don't go down, I'm about to start stealing again. I don't give I said I was leaving that shit in 2022. But look, if y'all gonna keep making deodorant $15 for a stick, I'm gonna just have to start sticking shit in my purse again. I don't care. Because I can't go without deodorant, and y'all know y'all taxing for that shit. Like, come on now. Something gotta give. Everything is just too expensive for me. Every single thing. Like, it's to the point I be rationing out deodorant. I'm only doing 2 swipes a day because I can't afford to do 3 or 4 swipes back and forth because I'm gonna run out of deodorant too fast. Toothpaste too. And the thing is, you can find cheap, but it ain't gonna hold you. I'm not about to buy no cheap deodorant and be musty all day. And I'm about to buy no cheap toilet tissue and that shit break while I'm wiping my ass. And I'm not about to buy no cheap toothpaste and my breath be stinking after I done brush my teeth. Like, y'all gonna have to give. Like, and then it's like, if you do buy quality shit, it got poison in it, and the stuff that don't have the poison in it is too damn expensive for anybody to afford. Like, this shit is just beyond me. Like, I'm at the point I'm either about to start stealing shit again, or I'm gonna have to start making my own shit. Y'all, like, the economy gonna have to decide at this point.
Y'all, am I the only one? But did you hear about the mass layoffs of meteorologists across the country because I guess it's a rollout of a new weather format? And I know, I've been talking about AI, but I know we are definitely in the age of artificial intelligence, but technology advancement. Now, I'm reading this article, and this article is from Newsweek. Okay, let me just let you see the article. Newsweek, right? And it's talking about how a number of meteorologists have been laid off because of this new implementation of weather format. That means they are no longer needed. All right. So as I continue to read the article, it does mention AI has the potential to track local events, including weather, and also scrape data more effectively and efficiently. Okay, y'all, this is what I'm talking about. This is how AI can quickly move in and take the human element out of it. Now, my empathy goes out to anyone and everyone who has lost a job through just even prior to this administration, being put in office, but even prior to, because the job market right now is challenging, really, really challenging. So if you know anyone who's lost a job, y'all definitely offer your support, guidance. And if you can share a role, share a resource, now is the time. Okay. Now is the time.
I think I'm getting laid off today. My boss sent me and my entire team a message a couple days ago to come in this morning in office, bring all of our equipment, and join a meeting at 10 a.m. called discussion. So I got the calendar invite of death, the meeting that is looking like I'm about to be laid off with my team. So I'm on the way to the office and let's see what happens. Okay, I'm outside of the office. I'm going in. My meeting is in 3 minutes. Wish me luck. Yep, just got fired. So we're officially fun employed. This is my notice of termination. Of course, it's soaking wet because my water spilled all in my bag. Anyways, this is now a fun employed page. Follow me for more fun employed content. Please drop any suggestions in the comments of how I should spend my time now. Any really meticulous hobbies that take a really long time to do, this is my time to shine. And also, if you have any ideas for jobs for me that require really little effort, pay a lot of money, and don't really take that much time, let your girl know, because I will be laughing instead of crying through the pain.
I received an email from my boss's boss that we have to have an emergency mandatory meeting today, and HR was CC'd on it. Are we getting laid off? I am so scared because I've never been laid off before. I don't know if they're going to give us like severance packages. Like when you get laid off, do they say it's like immediate or you work for till the end of the month? I don't know how this works. Like, this cannot be happening. This was not on my bingo card for 2025. Like, I'm supposed to be buying a house this year. Like, this was my first job after leaving my toxic marriage. I was a stay-at-home mom for 4 years. Like, I don't see why they just can't give me a severance package for like, 3 to 6 months. Because, I mean, they're not going to be paying my $100,000 salary. What they going to do with the money? Just give it to me so that I can be able to make it go through and last a little bit until I can find a job. Do you know how long it took me to find a job? Do you know how long it takes to find a job with a master's degree? I know it's diabolical that we can't get a job in 2 days. But this, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, and then the only way I make extra income is here on TikTok and with digital products. Now TikTok about to be gone. Supreme Court meeting today. What? Oh my God. Jesus. I want to just cry, but I can't. And I don't want my kids to know. Because when I was going through my divorce, I had to get on food stamps and I had to go to the church line to get food. Like, we were in poverty. Like, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to poverty. I'm not crying over here. I gotta go. Let's pray they don't ban TikTok. And I guess I'm gonna start, creating content on YouTube. So follow my YouTube. It's in the link in my bio. I guess it's just I said I wanted to be a full-time content creator, but I need my job to buy a house. Lord.
Hardest part of being laid off is really realizing that these people are just not your friends. I worked with these people for 2 years. I got laid off in August. It is now the end of January. I have not heard from anybody, like not one person. But what I can see is them looking at my LinkedIn, like stalking my LinkedIn. I could see you when you do that. But it's like you work with these people for years and they don't care about you. But then on the other hand, if you aren't social with them, then you're a bitch and you are also on the chopping block, so you can't win. No, I was not laid off due to any performance. Like, in fact, my performance was phenomenal. Like, I blew it out the water. I know my salary was a little bit higher than everyone else's, so I'm just gonna chalk it up as that. But when you're either not personable enough or too personable, you will always be on the chopping block, especially if you're a person of color. Like, I have to so I gotta overlaugh, overperform, go to these happy hours that I probably don't even want to go to because honestly, I don't like drinking at work no more. All for y'all to just forget about me. Like, I have to create fake friendships that take my energy from my real people for y'all really not to give two craps about me. Anyway, I'm interviewing today. I have 4 interviews this week. I've just done 1. I have 1 more today and then 2 more later on this week. Wish me luck, guys. I really need a job.
Growing up, I remember being in the backseat of my grandmother's car and she was like, whatever you do, make sure you work for the post office or make sure you work for a job that you can stay there until you retire. That's just what they teach you. Nowadays, I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it. If they're not paying me what I need to be able to take care of my family, I'm going to leave. They had relationships with their jobs in their workplaces back then. You could go there and talk to your manager and say, hey, so I feel like this is not working out. That is not working out. Now you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. That's why people say, well, I can't stay here that long because I'm putting in all this work and I could go to a job that will pay me more, even though I may have to work more. And then when I get tired of them, I'll just go to another job.
And I promise y'all, for as long as I live, I would never, ever give my all to a company, to a job ever again in my life. So I told y'all Friday that I got fired from my job or whatever, right? 5 years. 5 years. Okay. It's cool. It stung a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. And it stung because of how it happened. Okay, so boom, I get fired on Friday, probably like 10:30 in the morning, right? So I get let go, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm sitting in my car like for a good probably 30 minutes after that, because I'm just like, what now? To be honest with y'all, I was ready to go. Like, the retail management, it ain't for the weak. I was ready to go, but that's not the point. The reason why I was a little upset at how it happened was because I'm sitting in my car, maybe about 30 minutes later, one of my supervisors, ex-supervisors, called me and was like, why they got the new store manager already here? Like, didn't even let me get a chance to warm my car up. Like, already had a new store manager, like, just replace me like that. That's just crazy to me. After all I did for this position, for that store, you know what I'm saying? For them to just let me go the way that they did and have somebody come in just like that, it's just crazy. And I'm here to tell you, do not give your all to these companies. Do the basic bare minimum, because when it's time for them to let you go, they ain't gonna care. They're gonna just be like, all right, you can go. But when you're ready to go, it's a process. Anyways, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It do sting a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But stop giving your all to these companies. And, you know, I just know I have a bigger purpose. And that's fine, because I know that what I've been praying for all these years is finally coming to fruition. So I'm good. I'm good. They can have fun with that.
I'm just tired of living in circles. Like, I work so much and I have nothing to show for it. Like, nothing at all. Nothing. An apartment, cool. A car, cool. You know, the little stuff, okay, cool. But, like, I have nothing to show for it. I'm about to be 23 this year and I don't have a career. Like, I try not to question God and I move off faith, but it's like, you really run out of faith. It comes to a point where you really run out of faith. Because it's like, what is my purpose? What am I here for? I'm tired of going to work every day, slaving, to not have nothing. To not have absolutely nothing. A car, cool. A house, cool. What else? Like, I have absolutely nothing, and it's so frustrating. So aggravating.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but this generation of young adults has it 10 times worse than us. I have a 24-year-old, and we have started the apartment/home buying process. And baby, I remember my very first apartment was $650 plus electric. That's it. Most application fees was like $20, $25. And all these requirements they got now, like you got to make 3-4 times the monthly rent. Like, we ain't had to deal with none of that. Back then, they just looked at your pay stub and needed to know that the amount of rent was on your pay stub. So therefore, you can afford it. And don't get it twisted. The way this generation is struggling financially, we had that same struggle. Cost of living was cheap, but we also didn't make no money. When we got our apartments, whatever was at that apartment was free, because we paid our gym, free. Pool, free. Community room, free. Playgrounds, free. This shit crazy. It's crazy.
I don't understand how up America gotta be for you to work hard and still have no where to go. It's just like, oh my gosh, when is it all going to end? Like, y'all, it's so bad to the point where even though you work, you more than likely can't even eat every day. Not even 3 times a day. Me, none. Yet they expect us to keep working with a smile on our face. All of that. I be seeing why people don't want to work. They pay us a little bit of money, but make everything expensive. I'll be damned if I'm putting my life on the line for $14, $15. And then the whole time, yo can get hurt or die at the job you're at. So now you done fucking wasted your whole life being a hard worker to a company that don't give a about what you got going on, don't give a that you don't have nowhere to go. Just don't give a good goddamn. And certain people will never understand the frustration. You guys will never understand unless you're going through it. There is no reason why hard workers can't afford to eat, can't afford to live, can't afford to pay rent. It is so much. And I just wanted to let everybody out there know, okay? If you are deciding to bring your to America, hold on, y'all. Stay the over there. Do not come over here. Please. I beg of you. This shit sucks. All prayers to all my Americans, all my USA motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, my cousins, all that. We gotta figure something out, because this ain't gonna work for me.
Along with laying off federal employees, they are also laying off federal contractors. So whenever you see the federal employee number, times it by 2 of contractors that work for the federal government as well that are also losing their jobs. I honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that this is going to be the biggest layoff by an employer in our entire history. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be one of the biggest layoffs ever to occur. If private industry can see that they can get away with doing this in the federal government, this is going to happen in the private sector as well. There are going to be so many people without jobs, and there are going to be no jobs for anyone. And this is where AI comes in. This is so bad, y'all. I don't even know what to say, because so many people are going to lose their livelihoods. And with all of these jobs being lost, this is going to impact financial institutions. This is going to impact restaurants. This is going to impact clothing stores. Everybody is going to be impacted by this. This doesn't stop at federal employees and federal contractors and people that do services for the federal government. It doesn't stop there. This is going to trickle down to the very last person on the totem pole. And we are on the brink of an economic collapse, a total collapse. I don't know what else I can say for people to kind of understand what's happening, but the federal government does so much and helps so many areas by way of grants and, other means of funding. And that's no longer going to be here. Along with them cutting off Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. I really don't know what we as a group of people are going to do. And I'm gonna say this, because if this has nothing to do with being Democrat, this has nothing to do with being Republican, this has nothing to do with being an independent. This is a non-political issue, and we are all going to be impacted by this. At some point, as a collective, we have to put this politic bullshit aside, because again, politics in this country are used as a divisive tool. It is literally us working class people against these billionaires. They don't give a shit about any of us. And at some point, we all have to come to that realization and wake the fuck up. So I think that's all I'm going to have to say about that. I hope they actually upload this video, because every video that I try to make about anything at this moment, except for pop culture shit, is up for review and they won't post. So I can only hope that this even gets uploaded at this point, because I don't know. And I'm really even thinking about deleting this app, because it's like, well, what the fuck is the point?